Still a little off. There we go. What's up, everybody? Lock this into place. All right. All right, just in case I miss any chats. All right, we are back with some Stanley Parable. I'm hoping it starts me off where I was at the Stanley Parable 2. I have a feeling it won't, which will be unfortunate. It did tell me to set it to my favorite time the last time we joined this, so I don't actually have a favorite time, but we're just gonna say that's 8:40. I remembered, okay. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? Okay, wait, I gave you the correct time every time. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 840 is. Let's use another slider to find out. Very inaccurate. Well, if we're thinking hours, right? It's really, like, if this is the middle. Yeah, no, we're probably like here. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. This game's kind of creepy, low-key. Wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot the game up. That's kind of crazy. Am I the only one? Oh, it does start me off right where I left off. This game's kind of low-key a little crazy. Alright. So we left off with the Stanley Parable 2.
This is the story of a man named...
No, we don't need that. Alright, so Stanley Parable 2. I remember we did like the balloons, I remember that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, all the balloons. Gotcha.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him.
This used to be the door we would go through.
Why was he not doing it?
Wait, what? Wait, what did I miss? What was I not doing? Alright.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Like, I want to know how different the Stanley Parable 2 is. Like, if I go to that one, like, do we see the same stuff we saw before? Just keep it the same.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, the E's cut off. I can see it underneath the monetize free to play. Alright. Broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm like debating, do we actually follow everything? I'll walk upstairs. Oh! Oh!
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these. only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried.
So maybe do we
I
try to
implore you to savor each and every
get all of
moment
the
you come across
collectibles?
one of these beautiful figurines.
Is that what we should do? I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say that's a lovely purse. Nice. Nice. This is uncharted territory for us.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I feel like this is where we could like punch in like a different. Oh, whoops! I didn't mean it. I thought it was like a. Okay.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
Okay.
Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9.
2845.
Is he gonna get mad at me if I keep? I kind of want to make him mad. I haven't made him mad in a while.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself.
Heck yeah.
And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Alright, he's got a little more attitude today. Oh, collectible.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs.
Stands.
Oh, what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Stanlerine. Did I just fall? Huh? Alright. Oh. Why does that look like... Oh, I see. I see.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Wait, can I go back up?
Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
That's hilarious. Sweet.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
He wasn't happy with that, I can see.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Okay, there's a part of me that wants to hit the up arrow again.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
See, I have fun doing this stuff.
Oh my God. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
See, we would have never got this if I didn't just annoy him.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
I love this game.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality.
Sweet.
As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Let's go down the elevator.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no
We're
frame
kind of
of
committed
reference
to this
even
going up and down the
anticipate it.
elevator thing
That's
now.
just how revelatory
I want to see how far
Stanley's
I can go with it.
decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
I mean, we're committed, right? We'll never do this again. We're committed. Oh, he had nothing to say.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Oh, he's gonna come at me now.
There we go. Isn't this so much
This is
more
him combating
exciting,
my
you know, Stanley?
idiocracy.
It seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible.
this now.
They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises? To have
If he
to
jump
think
scares me, I'm
and to
gonna hate
anticipate
this.
and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like
Oh
you
my
so
God,
much,
it's
Stanley.
all the way up
Because
there.
you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would
Press
especially
conference?
mean a lot to the
I
people
live for
who have
this.
been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Wait.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be
eyes.
just around the corner here somewhere.
All eyes on Stanley. World's healthiest human being. How we did it, the pyramids. The guy who went to Mars. Got the red carpet rolled out for me and everything? An evening with world peace, baby. Gotcha.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
World's first sentient machine. I don't know what that means. Welcome,
Right,
Stanley.
are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling, and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable
I'm so glad we
narrative.
went up and down
don't
the
worry,
elevator.
you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the
Stanley.
heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley.
Me.
Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
I'm so excited. The dude who came up with pizza? What the heck? I feel like this is a trick. Oh. Look at all these. Uh-oh. I feel like that wasn't real. What? Oh, dumb.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting
here
room.
before?
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Maybe Stanley would never pick up the bucket. A lonely bucket, lonely and miserable and
Wait.
Stanley-less.
Wait.
Such a sad
There's a
fate
bucket?
for a bucket.
Oh,
Stanley picked up the bucket.
it's the reassurance bucket. That's what I forgot to pick up last
Stanley
time.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay. I'm like very resistant to actually follow the actual story to this game. I kind of want to go back to the right. Okay, you know what? No. Let's just go left. Let's get it over with. Because then I can be resistant free then. This is where all the eggs. I just realized. Oh, they added stuff to this room. Trust the completionist instinct. There will be a reward for finding them all. Lies. Who are you? Beep. Was that say 666 LOL? Oh my gosh. There will be cleaning of this wall required. I want to go home. I want them so much. Alright. So this is where they live. A large room, lots of boxes. Stairs. Something to do with stairs. Somewhere both red and blue. The only thing with the large room with boxes is storage back on the right side. Or the right door. Stairs. Somewhere both red and blue. I don't know where those two might be. But, oh. 416. 416? Okay, that must be back. Alright, we got it. Okay, okay. I got it.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked
416.
upstairs to the boss's office.
Yeah. We've done this already.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
2845. Gotcha. 2845.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
The bucket is guiding me. Alright. We won't go up and down the elevator. That was actually a really cool ending, though. Kind of a big fan of that.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Wait, red and blue. That's over by the. Okay, calm the heck down. I think I know where that is.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We're never gonna finish the main story.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Alright. I'm cool with that.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
What is this doing? This is one of those things that's supposed to like be supporting a beam or something.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Hey, I got my bucket with me. Alright.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
We are alive.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket. Alright, I don't read that fast. You guys can pause. I was pretending I read that fast.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own?
Buckets.
Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
That is way more than 25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. There's probably 25 in just this one little quadrant on the lower left. What is this? A bucket with 2 handles. Too dangerous and reckless. Nice. Inferno bucket? Oh, I have a choice. Never mind. The stress bucket. What the heck is going on? Alright, so we got a rare bucket ending, I guess. Or not rare, but the bucket. Okay.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. The infinity hole. Can I jump? Oh. Whoa.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
That got weird. Alright.
All of his co-workers
416.
were gone. What could it mean?
Remember 416.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Where's
Perhaps he had
416?
simply missed a memo.
419. We're not grabbing the bucket. Wait. Oh, 416. Wait, 416 is the one that we had. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was
I'm gonna
not
go to
the
the
correct
right,
way to the meeting room,
because
and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
I think
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
There's gotta be a figurine.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I knew it! How do we get over there? Oh, do we need a key card? Wasn't there like a red and blue room or something too somewhere? I remember, like, was it this way? How do we get over here? A vent. There's a vent. Alright, there's a vent somewhere. Oh, darn it. There's gotta be a vent that leads there, right? Alright.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
I don't know how to get there. Because obviously that's the only way. I doubt you can get up on that walkway, so... Alright, well we know where that one is at least. Is this the red and blue room though? 2?
Now listen carefully, this is important.
Where is it?
Stanley walked through the red door.
Ah!
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn
so
between
smart.
Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley?
All
What
right.
name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Alright, so it wasn't a total loss coming here, because we're going to get an ending that we've already had. I can't remember what door I was supposed to walk through.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Is this the...
Oh,
okay.
thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this
This is the one that I hate,
time?
right? Like I
The
have to walk
problem
up
is all
the
these
stairs and
choices.
jump off
The two of us
stairs or
always
something
trying
like
to
that.
get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and
that's
running,
right.
just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
How do we get
I wanted to stop.
to that vent?
We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
I think I have an idea, actually.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
We tried doing this too, right? Like, I know this is an ending, but like, I'm pretty positive you have to sit here for like an hour and a half. So,
No,
we're not going to do
wait. Where are you going?
that. No, we're going to go jump off some stairs a few times until we get to reset.
Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will
stairs.
reset.
Remember?
We'll lose all of this.
Remember they said stairs. Stairs, 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 or whatever. A place with lots of stairs.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley. No!
Meow.
Oh, no. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Because.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game?
I do dislike
that. You'll
that.
throw yourself
that
from
other
this
room.
platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Not really, but...
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
This is our first ending, I think, right?
But I guess that was
we
too
did
much
together?
to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
I think this was the first ending we did together. Alright. Reset.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going back.
Yes, sir. Hold on one sec. All right. Let's go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided
let's
to go
go
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
I don't
he
wanna,
entered the door on his left.
I don't want to risk it right now. We know where that one is, so we're fine. All right. He said to talk to. Which one said like to look at 416's stuff? I think it was one of the slides. Okay, so stairs. Something to do with stairs. And a large. Okay, so we know where number 2 is. I can't think of where the other, like where the stairs. Oh, what is this? So we need wood. So we need a plank. Okay. Okay. That's the bathroom. Is the stairs downstairs? Yes, because that's the squiggle path or whatever that we were following that one time. Okay. All right. Well, let's do the main story finally, and then we can go and do the other ones. Because I think that
Coming to a
number 2 is
staircase,
down here.
Stanley walked upstairs to his
Or do we
boss's
try
office.
I don't know.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
So my question is, right? Okay, I know that's an end list, so I don't want to actually do that one. My question is though, if we do the main story as the Stanley Parable 2, am I not able to collect the figurine from the warehouse?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
All right. So, because obviously I want to do all the figurines or whatever he called them. But I'm just trying to think now. Alright.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Let's go into here. We're gonna finally do the main story.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
So yeah,
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
So it's interesting. So 104 is fired, 601 is fired, and there was one of these ones that was.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
What's this? No. Okay. So we gotta go into here. Assuming. It's funny because this is the only ending I vaguely remember seeing about this game.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I
we know where 5 is. Where's 3 and 4?
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
4, okay.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free.
Where's
Of
3?
course,
Where's 3?
that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Where's 3?
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground,
Where's 3?
swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
Okay, alright.
I have
How
to
much do I
say
got?
this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go.
I don't think I'll have enough time.
But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're
3,
going
4.
or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
5.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off?
What?
I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley.
I have no idea what I actually am doing.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade
Get
in
to the
until
off!
the moment I say, happily ever up.
No! What's the trick that one? Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
All right.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
Bucket's always
Yes.
guiding me.
This is certainly the most logical explanation.
Alright. If I want to know how to, I feel like there's a way to defeat that, and I don't know how to do it. It said like the 2 button, but it was like pink.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Alright, I'm gonna hit the off button this time.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
The only reason I
Had
honestly
the
went this
bucket
way
been told to
still
do
is
things it didn't wish to do? What kinds
our
of
starting point was
things does a
weird.
bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Do I hit the on button again and try to get out of it? Nah.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty.
There's literally a
until
house.
Finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Alright, well, let's try to get the last figurine then.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
We need to find a plane.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So, see, this is my thinking, right? There's not a way there. Okay, let's just go this way because
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
We want to restart then. is no shot I didn't see the, like, this has got to be new, right?
And there it is. The last
We got 'em all.
Stiggly-Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here, and now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Okay, so here's my thinking, right? This is just a thought. When we were jumping off those stairs, I mean, this had to have been pretty much the height, right? So could I just jump? Is there a way to, like...
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Oh, we're done with the Stanley Parable 2 then, huh? Wait. Oh, the sequel is now paused. I just lost all the balloons, though. So I think everything's done. Huh. Well. Here's the bucket. Whoa, what the heck?
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Sure. I was just about to end it there, because I was like, I feel like we've kind of done everything. Back in the memory zone.
Ah, here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Wait. Now I'm over the number. Oh, and then here's the bathroom one.
And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
I'm a surprising guy. What can I say?
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand?
Oh.
Can you remember?
What's this one?
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, behind the boss's office. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Okay.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
No.
this was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was under the stairs. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh my gosh. Oh. This is like old school Windows Live Movie Maker. Gosh, I miss Windows Live Movie Maker. I haven't used Windows Live Movie
Takes you
Maker in
back, doesn't
probably...
it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on
6 years
anything
now.
else.
It's gotta be, it's actually gotta be over that. Probably 8 years.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here in the warehouse. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
What's that sound?
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Okay.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels. Okay, yes, this spot in the warehouse. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
So glad I didn't end the stream.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video.
I thought we were gonna watch it all over again. This one doesn't make sense though, because we didn't.
Still
find
don't remember the
one here.
pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room though, a solid room.
Because they're forgetting the red and blue door one.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
What happens if I went this way? Here's me trying to be like resistant. Nah. I heard a weird noise and I don't like it.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Stanley Parable too.
Look,
the
it's
jump
the
room?
terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say... Oh, yes! The two doors! Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's
No.
something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Nope.
I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
So this is my final run of The Office?
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway.
Okay,
Kill
big
surprise.
fan. Big fan, big fan.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Can you do the blah 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 thing for this one too?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Yeah, I mean, if this is the final run through, by the way, so this will probably be the end of
it was too
playing the Stanley
horrible to
Parable,
believe
obviously.
it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Unless there's a specific one that I'm missing,
he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
We don't have the bucket this time.
Happy or sad or content,
So,
walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machine... blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
I don't think they played this music the last time I did that.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Oh.
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And
This
that
is
was all he needed
nice.
to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
And then we finally ended the game with the correct ending.